What's going on, everybody? My name is Justice. I'm with my guy.
What's poppin'? It's poppin'. It's your boy Tyaire. How you doing?
You tuned into the Silky Boys podcast. Always podcast out for sports news and what's going on in the culture. Tyaire, how you feeling this week, bro?
I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling great, man. We got a lot of good music this week, man. How you feeling?
First week of 2022. Feeling pretty good. As far as like storylines and what we got to talk about today, 2022 first week did not disappoint. we got some stuff to talk about, so let's just get right into it. First things first, Antonio Brown. Where should we even begin? Where should we even start with this? There are just so many different angles we could take. We have both sides, Antonio Brown side, then we have the Bucks side, and it seems like both sides have things that kind of contradict each other's side of the situation. It's a whole heap load of kind of confusion and really just he said type of thing scenario. So for those that somehow don't know, Antonio Brown in the middle of last week's game against the Jets quit in the middle of the third quarter, essentially. And it's his words, he was basically cut. He was kicked off the team. And from Antonio Brown's vantage point, he said that he was coming into the game with an ankle injury. He was trying to rehab it as best he can. And he even told head coach Bruce Arians that he may not be 100% to go, but he was still going to try to compete and get on the field and see what he could do. He gets on the field, middle of the third quarter, he's on the sideline. And from Antonio Brown's vantage point, he said, listen, coach, I can't go anymore. Like, my ankle is just cooked. It's not. Bruce Arians said, you know what? Get out. I'm done with you. And that's when he proceeded to take off his jersey, his shirt, give us the first meme of 2022. We're doing jumping jacks and all that. In the middle of my life, and proceeds to lock him. That's Antonio Brown's side of the story. On the Bucs side of the story, actually begins last week. So Antonio Brown's contract, he has certain incentives for touchdowns, receiving yards, and catches. If he accomplished those things, he would have made an extra $1 million, $2 million. Him and his agent went to the Bucs GM and said that we want those incentives guaranteed. Bucs declined that. So he would still have to go out in the field, actually record those numbers and to get those incentives. So in the game, Bruce Arians, Ryan Leftwich, he called the play that involved Antonio Brown, that player package. And basically, Antonio Brown said, no, I can't go because of my ankle. And there was also kind of reports saying that he was actually complaining that he wasn't getting enough targets to reach those numbers to get those incentives. That's from the Bucs side of things. From Antonio Brown's perspective, what he's voiced over the past couple of days and with the statement that he released along with his agent, that doesn't seem to come up at all, that situation, that scenario. So again, it really is kind of just a he said thing in this situation. And it's just, it kind of sucks that this is once again happening to Antonio Brown, but it comes to a certain point where it's just like, guys around the league and around the world really just not going for the bat for you at this point.
Yeah, man. It's a sad situation. And I see where Antonio Brown is trying to do and like what story he's trying to flip. But sometimes you could be right and wrong at the same situation and how you handle the situation. Yeah, the Bucs might have been wrong of forcing him to play or wrong of not guaranteeing his incentives, but he has to look in the mirror and think, why does he have a contract that's incentive based in the first place? It's because of the things you do in the past prior to even being a Buccaneer of, okay, we can't really trust this guy to give him all his money, because when he gets all his money, he's just going to be like, I don't need to perform. I do what I want. I'm big, business is booming. I got the guaranteed money, so I'm going to do my AB antics. And he feels like they need him more than they did. And it's like, AB, this is a league. It's replaceable. You know that. You were just out of the league for a year and a half. So you should know more than anybody that, hey, anybody can get replaced. Like, nobody's bigger than NFL. And that's something he doesn't realize yet, that every player is replaceable. And that's what this is. And on the Bucs side, yeah, it's fucked up because we see this all the time. The NFL puts players out there that's hurt. They inject them with all type of drugs, all type of stuff to make them go. But that's protocol. Yeah, that's messed up, but it's protocol. So it's not like you're telling us anything different. And we've seen many people handle it different ways. And I just don't think as a grown man, you should be handling it that way. And I think what the bigger issue is that Antonio Brown is clearly dealing with some type of mental issue health wise, and he just needs to get the proper help and care for that. And yeah, it's fun and jokes what he's doing, but at the end of the day, you can see it's a problem. So even when you see like when Tom Brady's talking about him, he's talking about him with care because he understands that more than anybody. Like, yeah, something's not right there, and I just want to be there for him. But I feel like you said, they're both contradicting each other's sides. Because if it was about an injury, Antonio Brown wouldn't be on this podcast clip. I'm seeing him today talking about he's better than everybody on the Bucks. Like, bro, what you do and what Gronk does and what Mike Evans does, it shouldn't matter. If you're hurt, you should be worrying about that, not about what this contract is going to do. Why you have this type of contract? So it's just showing that you're wrong and you just wanted to pull something out of the air, but it's a pattern with AB. And unfortunately, I don't feel like this is the last time in the league. I feel like somebody else is going to give him a chance, and he's not going to learn until he has no more chances, and he's at rock bottom. And I thought he was at rock bottom before, but he's not, because he's a talented player, so he's going to keep getting chances. But until he really sits down and gets the help that he needs, we're going to keep seeing this.
Right, and talking about that thing of just kind of running out of chances, it's not going to happen for a long time. And I was listening to a podcast with Ryan Shazier, former teammate of Antonio Brown. And he said early on those Steelers days, Antonio, he had a lot of yes people around him, and he said that Antonio Brown, he is conscious and he knows like how good he is and what type of value he has to a team. So when you combine those two things together, yeah, you're not gonna be humble. No one in your entourage who's a yes man is gonna come up to you and say like, hey, listen, what you did was messed up, regardless, because those yes men most of the time, as far as the player goes, they're paying for that guy to have a house. They're paying for that guy to live the lifestyle, fancy lifestyle in the club, jewelry, cars, and everything for that. So of course you're not gonna essentially, bite the hand that's gonna feed you per se, right? So we combine those two things together. It is a recipe for disaster, and we are kind of seeing that right now. This was, in a lot of cases, at least from the outside, his last chance. But if you're as talented as Antonio Brown, when you're a Hall of Famer like Antonio Brown is, you are still going to get a chance. And now it's be interesting to see, like, if a team does take a chance with him heading into the postseason. I don't think a team like, let's say, Kansas City or the Rams would pick him up, but I can see maybe later down in the offseason, a team bringing him just on another 1-year deal like the Bucks did this past year. So, like you said, I don't think this is going to be the last time that we've seen Antonio Brown. Again, it is just an unfortunate situation, and as far as him dealing with him possibly dealing with mental health issues, like, again, it goes back to those yes men just being, having his back essentially and just really saying like, listen, like, you might not be good, but at the same time, it's like, you can tell him that as much, you can run your mouth off to him about that, but like, he's only going to be willing to change if he truly wants to. Antonio Brown's a guy with the ego and the personality that's never going to admit that he's wrong. So.
Yeah, this is just one of those opportunities I wish the NFL would just show care to people that can't do anything for them. Like, I want you to like help him out when he has nothing else offered to a team. That's when I want to see, okay, we really care about the health and safety of our players, just when they have no 1,000-yard season they could give us anymore. And we just need to really focus if he's good, because obviously, as long as he's going to give you 1,000-yard receiver season, y'all going to help him as much as he can. But when he can't do that anymore, what are y'all going to do?
Right. So that was the first storyline that's kind of dominated the NFL and sports for the past week. The second one is Aaron Rodgers again and his case for MVP this year. So now it came out, a journalist by the name of Hubbard Arkish, basically saying that he doesn't think Aaron Rodgers deserves to be the MVP, basically of the antics that he pulled during the off season, and putting the Packers in a situation where he said he put them quote unquote in jeopardy of basically with his future. Him, the organization having to restructure his contract to make him a free agent earlier, and the whole immunization fiasco that we dealt with a few weeks back. He says because of all those things that happened off the field, he does not deserve to be an MVP. But when you look at the tape outside of that week 1 loss against the Saints, this guy has been the most consistent quarterback in the league by far. Pat had an up and down season. Dak, he started off really strong. He got into a slump. Even Brady, he had a good season, but he lost to the Saints twice. He didn't look good in those games. So, and yes, John Taylor, Cooper Kupp, they're having great seasons for their positions, but, you know, Cooper Kupp is not Jerry Rice. Jonathan Taylor, he's not 2006, 2007 Adrian Peterson. You know, so obviously this is a quarterback award, and flat out this year, Aaron Rodgers has been the best quarterback. And the reason why like this matters, and to me, this story matters really, is because this reporter, he actually has a vote in the MVP award. He actually gets to decide who the league MVP is going to be. So, and I take issue with this. You're holding something that Aaron Rodgers did before the season even started against him, not by what he's doing on the field. At the end of the day, the MVP award is the most valuable player, not the most valuable person. Because we can all agree that Aaron Rodgers, his public opinion is at a low point right now. Not many people like him and kind of see him as the asshole that he is right now. He turned into Brett Favre. Guy that he hated, but he ended up turning into him. Right? But you can't deny the on-field production and the on-field greatness of this guy that has been going on for these past few months. Like, you cannot hold that against him.
Yeah, man, I just think this is a foolish thing, and it just shows why sometimes the media as a whole gets a little too much power for a guy to feel like he can withhold a vote of something that has nothing to do with on-field performance and just say, oh, I don't like how he views this, or I don't like how before the season he was causing a ruckus. If we clearly see, because most of these guys bank off stats and what's going on the field, if he has all that, then what are we talking about? And I just think this is an example of, okay, if we see this guy's doing that, we should take away his vote and he shouldn't be allowed to vote in this anymore. Because now it's not a stats, facts thing. It's a personal thing, and that corrupts the system, and it corrupts the sanity of the award and credibility of the award. And it's just disgusting. And it's just like, bro, what did Aaron Rodgers do to you? Did he fight you? Did he disrespect your family? If not, shut up and go vote for him, because he's the clear MVP again. And any other argument you can make, like you said, it's not strong enough based off of a vaccine or pre-season issues that was going on that had no effect on what was going on in the field. If it did, it had one game. And it would even prove more how valuable he is. The one game he missed, they got blown out, and every other game they've looked perfect since. So just like even that thing you're trying to use as a crutch or something, it helps his case even more. So just like, man, Rob Mercush, whatever you were, bro, just cut it out, man. Because you just come off looking like a hater at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's really what it is. And also, he said this on a radio show, and then the day after, I might even be the day of actually, he went on another radio and said that he apologized. He wished he did express how he was going to vote and his opinion of Aaron Rodgers, but he still wasn't going to vote for him. And my thing, like, again, like you said it, like, we can't have personal grudges and personal vendettas held against guys and what they're doing on the field. Because what are we doing? Like you said, it violates kind of, what that award really means. Again, it's not the most valuable person. It's not the best teammate award. It's not the best person. It's not the best face of the league award. It's the most valuable player award. You can talk about the intangible things about, like, how a leader is. This isn't how a leader is supposed to act in the offseason. This isn't how a leader is to kind of mislead the media in a type of way. What matters is, again, his performance on the field, and he has the numbers to back it up. Again, he's been the most consistent quarterback since week 1, and this is a quarterback-driven league and a quarterback-driven award. So, I don't know. It really is just a clownish thing to do, and a clownish thing to even come out. He really should have just kept that to himself.
Yeah, like you thought you were gonna get brownie points for that. Like we were gonna
like, yeah, like at the end of the day, like what is this really proving? Like again, it gets your name, in the media, your name starts circling more and more, but it's not in a positive way, it's in a negative intentional way. And so it's like now the NFL is gonna look at this, they're gonna say, okay, he's not gonna get a vote next to you. He may not get a vote ever again because clearly he holds these personal vendettas against certain players, or and the certain ideologies he upholds to certain players, when at the end of the day that doesn't matter
at all.
It makes no sense. But I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is going to win the MVP award. I'd be shocked if anybody else did. Exactly. At this point, it really just is to lose. So that's really what it comes down to. Moving on, we're in week 18, heading into it. First games are on Saturday. The rest of the games are on Sunday. We are right around the corner from the postseason. This has been a fun year of football, the longest year of football in NFL history. And it's been really exciting. We have a lot of ups. We have a couple of downs, just with COVID and some guys getting hurt and all that. But ultimately, it's going to come down to this last Sunday night game against the Chargers and the Raiders, to see who's going to get into that playoffs, that final playoff spot in the AFC, the wild card. The Colts are still in the mix in the AFC. Even the Ravens and the Steelers are still in the mix. So this game will really be interesting, especially if it does end at a tie, because the Chargers and the Raiders will both have the opportunity to play in the postseason if they end in a tie. But going into this game, how are you feeling? Who do you think is going to come out on top?
I feel like Justin Herbert might finally step in, because this season has been real streaky for Herbert. He has a lot of highs. The game against Mahomes, him outdoing him, and then he had a lot of lows. And it's just like, I feel like for us to really gauge where he's going to be as a quarterback, I feel like this game would be a good stepping stone for him to say, hey, I'm here. I'm ready to make a playoff run. Because if he gets in there, he can possibly make a run, because the AFC is so wishy-washy, so on and off. Is no clear contender right now that whoever get hot can possibly make it to the Super Bowl. So I feel like I'm going to ride with the Chargers, but I wouldn't be surprised if Derek Carr is able to rally the Raiders to the playoffs after all they've been through. And it will be a good story just to show him as a leader in a season where probably he shouldn't have made it. After all the other seasons, like, yeah, this is definitely the season the Raiders should make it. It would be cool to see them make the playoffs. And like I said, they could even make a run too. So I feel like I'm gonna lean to the Herbert side, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders sneak it in there and get it done.
For me, this one's kind of really just a toss up. I can see both points. I can see both these teams winning. At the end of the day, no matter who wins or who loses, I think this is going to be good for the NFL, especially on the Raiders side. So I am kind of hoping that the Raiders will win. I just don't know if they will. But from the Raiders side, again, the amount of headlines that they've been in, the amount of trouble and turmoil they've had to endure for this past season, to really make a playoff run like this, I think that would be a really cool story kind of end this season on, and also for a league to see, one of these legendary franchises, the Raiders back into the playoffs, especially after the year that they've had. I think that would be really cool. I think the NFL is kind of really would really like that. Also, at the same time, for the Chargers, this would be the first time, in LA where they have an opportunity to really play in the playoffs. It'll be Justin Herbert's first opportunity, real opportunity, on a big stage to show, what he's got. And this is basically show everybody else in the league, to a larger audience that, hey, he's next up. This is the guy that's going to be in the conversation for top 5 quarterbacks, and into the next 10 years or so. And also, there'll be a way for LA really to garner more fans and just more attention overall, because Lord knows that they even need it in that stadium. We see that every single Sunday. So no matter who wins, I think the NFL wins overall. And I just can't really wait to see what it's going to turn into.
Yeah.
And really just looking into the playoffs. Like you said, the AFC, it is really, really wishy-washy. There are a lot of ups and downs, and just even looking at the standings right now, the wild card. We have New England, Colts, and the Chargers in there right now. But again, Ravens, like I said, Steelers they could still potentially make it to the playoffs. When you take a look at the NFC side, Green Bay, Rams, Bucks, Cowboys, Cardinals, 49ers, Eagles, those teams are pretty much locks. It's just a matter of, wild card and who's going to end up being the number one seed and number two seed. That's really what's going to come down to with that on that side. There is a slight possibility that the Saints actually do end up in playoffs, which is kind of wild to say. They're 8-8 right now. And if the Rams somehow lose to the Cardinals, they'll be able to get in. But we'll see what happens. With that. So be paying attention to that, see where the playoff seeding ends up, and we'll come back next week and really just give our full playoff preview and really see okay, who's gonna win the Super Bowl right now? Because at this point, it could really be anything.
It could be anybody right now. There's no clear-cut favorite in my eyes.
At all. We've been saying, earlier this season that it was going to be the Rams, just based on the amount of star talent that they have, but they've been shown to struggle at times. The Bucks were your early favorite too at one point, but now clearly they don't have Antonio Brown. They lost Chris Godwin to an ACL injury. Mike Evans is still dealing with a hamstring. They also still have some pieces on defense that are missing, so they're not as strong as they once were before. The Cardinals, they were on the longest undefeated team, going 10-0 at one point. And they dropped about 3 in a row, so they've kind of come back down to earth for a little bit. Cowboys, they've had an up and down season, but they very well may end up in the Super Bowl and may have won that thing. Anyone can go on a run right now. I think this is really exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun playoffs to see, man. Because like you said, whoever gets hot is gonna win.
It kind of reminds me of the MLB playoffs this past year of where Atlanta winning the World Series. Yeah. They weren't necessarily the best team in the MLB. They just got hot at the right time. They were able to take down the Dodgers in 5-6 games. So
yeah,
that'll be exciting. Anyway, moving on to the NBA. The boy Kyrie Irving is back. He made his season debut against the Pacers. Overall, he looked good. He stayed in the gym. He said that he's been working out in empty middle school, high school gym. He's known this entire time, just getting ready for the call. Made his season debut against the Pacers. Definitely showed that he's still Kyrie. Still has the handle, still has the scoring ability. He definitely did show a little bit of rust as far as playing with his teammates. Dealing with the young guys like Dave Duke Jr. Was still with Nick Claxton as well. But overall, this is a good sign for him, and that's saying that he's actually back and he's actually healthy.
Yeah, it's a good sign, but like you said, with the chemistry thing, I just want to see how it's gonna work playing every other game. Okay, I'm playing this week, probably one game a week, and I don't play at all next week. It's just gonna be interesting to see how this plays out as the course of the season goes on, because I feel like come March he's only going to play 2 games before the playoffs, and then as the playoffs he's playing the first 2 games he's not playing, and then he's playing on the road, and then first 2 games he's playing. It's just going to see how that works. And then if they play a team like the Warriors where I don't think he would be able to play at all, it's just okay, so what are we going to do? But if they find a way to work it out, then they're probably the championship favorites. But I feel I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing for them, because I could see it as a thing that's just going to blow up the chemistry, to be honest, because if they never get rhythm, it won't work. But you got KD on your team. That's a problem easier itself. So I feel like they'll be all right.
Yeah, I think they're going to be all right. And also, with Kyrie basically playing he might be playing 2 games a week, and then like you said, next week he might not be playing at all. Steve Nash is really just gonna have to mess around with the lineup and really tell some of these young guys, like David Duke Jr., Cam Simons, hey, you're gonna be playing, you're gonna be playing about 25 minutes this week, with Kyrie out the lineup, but when Kyrie's in the lineup, probably gonna shrink down to about 15, so you really is going to have to mess around with those lineups and really talk to those young guys and really just say, like, hey, you're still going to have an opportunity in some games, but in other games you might not. And so that could be really challenging trying to manage that, especially as a young player too, like King Thomas, when you come in and you really are going to try to like make a name for yourself. This is obviously a team again that has championship expectations, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ken Thomas wants to be like campaign of last season, where he comes off the bench and this is a guy that catches fire and can really be an offense for a second unit. Really garner some attention and some possible money being thrown at him when he becomes available as a free agent. So I'll be really curious to see how Steve Nash really handles that, the personality of the lineups. But I think they're gonna be all right. I think they'll be all right overall. Also, I just gotta say this: Kyrie's back, but so is Lance Stevenson. My son Lance is back, and he showed up Kyrie in the first half with 20 points, bro. I was so happy. I was the happiest Lance fan in the fucking world that night, bro. Came back, this dude was playing in China. Came back, was playing for the G League, for the Denver Nuggets. Came back, got signed to Atlanta. Contract ended. Indiana gave him a call once again, like, Lance, we need you, bro. Struggling right now. We need you to inject some juice once again. He said, I bet. So what did he do, bro? 20 points in the first fucking quarter, ended up with 32 points, bro. I'm happy. Keep Lance in the league, bro.
Man.
Never should have been out the league in the first place.
Lance is an anomaly, man. He's been doing it since I was like 11 years old, man. So we just gotta give it up to the man. And for him to come back to do it in Indiana, it's like poetic justice against Brooklyn, his hometown team. It's poetic justice for Lance. I hope Indiana extends him for the rest of the year. Just off of that, 20 points in the first quarter, you got to give him the rest of the contract. Like, just let him stay. Y'all drafted him. This is home. He's gonna bring excitement to the team every night. Y'all not really doing much, so keep Lance there for the rest of the season, man. It's a feel-good story, and we need it.
Yes, sir. Have him be in the contention for a 6 man of the year when it's all said and done, bro. Just late season edition, bro. Came in, helped Indiana win a couple more games than they really should have without him. I'm going for Lance, bro. I'm happy that he's back. So very happy. Anyway, moving on. Memphis Grizzlies right now are the 4th seed in the West. Who would have thought? We saw Memphis last year as being kind of this young, scrappy team. They were able to be a hot Steph Curry and the Warriors to get into the playoffs, and really played a competitive series against the Jazz in that first round. And going into this season, it was really just, okay, is Ja going to take the leap? And this was a team that was pegged to be within like that 6-7 seed, that playing kind of tournament team. That's what they were supposed to be this season, and they've come in and kind of really just flipped the script entirely. They're 4th right now. They're about 10 games, I believe, above 500. They went on a 10-game win streak without Ja being in the lineup, and this is a team now looking forward that could be a problem in the first round.
Yeah, man, I really like this team, man. And I've been a fan of Josh since I first saw him at Murray State. And I was always like one of those advocates that was saying he probably should have been the number 1 pick. And I think he's just showing a lot of that now, of just his ability to play, create for his teammates, and him stepping into more of a role as a scorer than we've ever seen him in his career. Because we always knew that he's going to be a good playmaker, but can he score on the level of how the modern day guard needs to be able to score? Like, can he give us a Steph Curry type of performance, a Damian Lillard type of performance? And we've been seeing as of late that, yeah, he's been able to take it to a lot of these teams against the big stars, and he's not afraid to go at them. Like we saw last year what he did against Steph. It crushed my heart. We saw what he did earlier this year against Steph. Saw what he just did against the Nets, and he's ready to make that leap to that I'm a superstar level, and I think he's going to get there. And what's impressed me the most about him is that he's really been working on his jump shot, because he knows he has all the athletic capabilities, and that's what scares me about him a lot, because the way he jumps, it reminds me a lot of Derrick Rose early on, where he was just jumping off his knees and just landing any kind of way. I'm like, bro, you can get hurt like that. But if he focuses more on his jump shot, where he doesn't have to rely as much as attacking, he's going to be a problem. And I just see him keep growing and growing, and he's going to be a top guard in this league. I feel like he's the next prototype of what a point guard is. That 6'4" type of dude that can handle crazy like Kyrie, finish crazy like Russ, and still shoot a little bit like Steph. And he's fun and he got that dog mentality. So it's going to carry him a lot. And like you said, that Memphis team is strong. They got Jaren Jackson. I feel like they need a couple more pieces before they like a real contender, but they're going to be a nice, fun team in the West that you don't want to face in the first round. They might take a couple games off of you.
Yeah, this is kind of like a new age of like grit and grind Grizzlies. Back in the early 2010s, of course, with Marcus Gasol, Zach Randolph, Mike Conley. Obviously those teams were really predicated on defense, rebounding, local scoring from their two bigs, and now they kind of still have like that same mentality, that same like dog mentality. And right now they're top 10 defense and number one in rebounding. They're number one in steals right now. They're really getting together, and the thing is, this is a young team too. This is a young team, high energy team that's really scrappy, and all their guys are really, bought into the system and really believe every single time that they walk on the court, they can beat whoever's in front of them. And sometimes you really don't get that way young teams, and they have a guy that they can really rally around in job, like you said, that has that dog mentality where you say, like, I'm not scared of no one. I don't care if you're 7 feet, I'm gonna still go at you. If you get me, all right, cool, I'm coming right back at you. Like, I'm not afraid of the moment, not afraid of nobody. It is really just so dope to see. And like for me personally, I always love seeing like these young competitive scrappy teams in the NBA. And Memphis got one, and it seems like they really have a core and a unit that's going to be really competitive over the next decade. So shout out to Ja, shout out to Memphis. I definitely think that they can be a team where they can possibly make a trade because they do have a deep roster. They're getting good production out of a lot of bench guys. They might be able to flip that around to 3 or 4 guys to get that third option right now to really make them contender. I don't know who would potentially be on the market right now, but maybe into the offseason, maybe into next year to really solidify them as one of the top 4 seeds for real, legitimately top 4 teams in the West going forward.
Yeah, man. And just off of that, I just got a question for you, bro. Where the hell is Ben Simmons at?
Ben Simmons is at the crib chilling. He's sick right now because he's really looking at his bank account like, I really lost 10 mil. I just lost 10 mil in 3 months. Like, he's tight, but the thing is, he's so petty that he's still not gonna show up. You know what I mean? He's at the house. He's probably still working out. He's probably still working out on his game and everything. But yeah, he's at the house, crib tight.
I've never seen something like this before in my life where a guy is just fully perfect, 100% healthy, and it's just at the crib chilling. Like, even Kawhi said he had knee issues, but half of that time he wasn't hurt anymore. But Ben Simmons is just like, I don't want to play in front of the fans, so I'm just at the crib, yo. Like, I'm on Warzone, I'm chilling, y'all. If y'all need me, I'm gonna leave the account open. Just take it what y'all need, man. But I'm not pulling up, and it's like nobody's trading for him yet. Like, nobody wants him. Like
the trade deadline is approaching. There was that Blazers offer for CJ McCollum, a few weeks back, but that's the only real offer that there was. And I don't think he would have really been like that happy being in Portland and seeing the kind of season that they have right now with Dame injured. He hasn't, even when he has played, he hasn't played up to his standard, the standard that we set for him as all NBA talent. So yeah, I don't know where Ben Simmons goes after the season. Like, I really don't. Like, Daryl Morey really might have just won the situation. Like, 3 months into it, he might just won it overall. And this might be the first big blow to the clutch conglomerate, bro.
This might be the first L the clutch conglomerate took, man. It might be the first L they taking, bro. But hey, Rich Paul might be spending this nigga's check, so I don't know. Like, hey, Rich Paul He's probably not tripping. He's chilling with Adele. He's like, we up. Nah, Clutch took 2 L's, man. Tristan had to fess up to his ways, man. So I don't know. The Clutch.
We could get into that now, really. I mean, like, he was gonna have to eventually, and like, which is mad funny, like this obviously isn't the first time that he's had to do this. This isn't the first time that he's had to publicly apologize for cheating on Chloe. This isn't like the first time where he had to say like, "Yo, the child is mine." In this case, like he was singing Billie Jean from the top of his lungs for a minute, and until that paternity test came back, he was like,
You want to know a fun fact about Billie Jean? You know that was about a girl that claimed Michael Jackson was the father of one of her twins.
Nice.
Right? Not both of them. One of the twins.
One. If you go claim both, why stop at one? Like, why would you just put one? If you have two kids at the same time and you're filing the paperwork and say, yeah, Michael Jackson is the father, okay, of both of them, not just one. Like, how does that make sense? Like, how does that make sense?
Oh man, bro, Tristan. But yeah, Tristan finally admitted to the world what we all knew, and we were just like, why is this news? Like, I thought everybody else knew this, Tristan. Like but Tristan, you're playing the book all wrong. If I was Tristan, I would just dip into the Offset handbook. But I feel like Tristan really doesn't have to do that here because Chloe, to me, she likes this. Like, she likes going back to this. She likes the fun. Like, he cheated on you with your little sister's best friend. Y'all ended that. Y'all kicked her to the curb. Y'all demolished her life. He tried to cheat on you with Larsa Pimpin. Y'all kicked her out of your life, demolished her, kicked her to the curb. You still took him back. So at this point, he feels like he can do anything. I feel as clear as day, this is a case of a man who's trapped. I feel like he doesn't like Chloe. And it's like, can we please leave him alone? Like, I feel like her OJ genes are kicking in and he be trying to dip and she's like, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere.
But I don't believe. Like, honestly, I don't believe that, bro. Like, I really don't, bro. I think this.
What other reason he has tried millions of times to alert you? I don't like you. I do not,
bro. Honestly, I just think he's just a cheating Canadian Jamaican, bro. I think that's just honestly what it comes down to. And sometimes the correct answer is the simplest one in front of you. Like, sometimes that's just what it comes down with. Because when he issued this like public apology about everything that was happening, he issued his statement to Chloe, basically said like, "Yo, like, I'm sorry for basically dragging you out in the mud and things that we've gone through publicly and privately. I know my actions don't reflect how I truly feel about you. I still truly do love you, bro." If you honestly like, okay, so this is like his third offense, right? This is his third offense of like trying to essentially get out. At the third time, why would you still even put that in the public apology, though, is my thing. If you're really trying to get out of it.
Because he's not the one that wants, she wrote that. She's the one that keeps bringing this about. He is trying to tell you, I'm done. This is all for her. Tell the people you're sorry to me. Tell the people you did this. Like, he does not care about her. In the next story we saw, he bought flowers for her daughter. Why does a daughter need 12,000 roses? What is a 3-year-old doing with roses? Nothing. This is all for her. This is all Kardashian headline. And it's like, bro, Chloe, until you realize that this dude does not want you, we're just going to keep being here every other week. Every other time. Like, he's a man. He's going to have enough kids. He is unlimited kids. So until you realize that he doesn't want to be with you, you're going to have another stepkid, because he's going to keep doing it. Like, you might think, oh, he wants to build this family with me and True. No, he doesn't. Y'all met when he cheated on his baby mama before. That's how y'all relationship started. It's
I understand, understand the root of it. Let's understand the root of the relationship. That this whole relationship, this whole reason that y'all are all with each other, because he was a cheater. Like, let's understand that first and foremost.
And yes, he's going to keep coming back to you because your family is the most famous family in the world. And he's at the tail end of his career. So he knows his checks are ending soon. So yeah, he's going to be close up to you because you're the best bet for him to have more money after life. If you really want him to stop hurting you, leave him alone. Don't respond to his text. Don't, like, if you want to see his kid, here's True. She's here on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Go pick her up. We'll meet at McDonald's, and that's that. Or Chris, go pick her up. You'll meet Chris at the gate, and that's that. We don't have to talk anymore. And like, come on, this, like, I know this family too well. Chris, help your daughter and get him away from this man, because he's gonna keep doing the same thing over and over again, bro. And it's just not gonna stop, man. And all I gotta say is, Devin Booker, please stay away from all of this nonsense. Just stay in the gym, just stay doing what you gotta do. We see how everybody else in this situation, we thought the curse didn't touch Travis, and we saw what happened. It touched him. The curse is live in the well, everybody. So Devin Booker, stay in the gym and just keep hooping, because it's hectic out here, my boy. Kanye's running around with who knows who right now, just trying to stay happy, just trying to keep a smile on. That man is depressed.
Real quick on the Devin Booker side, bro. Devin, whenever you're in a situation, bro, remember just to look down at your arm, bro. What does it say on your arm, bro? What does it say?
Be legendary, my boy.
Be legendary, bro. Just remember who said that to you, bro. Boom. Just remember that, dog.
Remember, because this family,
like,
this track record is incredible. It's crazy. Like, nobody has survived.
Yo, all right. So like, let's get into the little let's get into Kanye real quick, bro. Because he started off the year with a bang too, as well. Bought a house directly in front of Kim Kardashian and said that he was going to tear down this home and build Kim a better home. And immediately gets involved with this new model, Julia Fox now. And apparently they've been dating for a week now. And she wrote a whole expose basically about like what's been like to been dating Kanye for a week, essentially. I'm just looking at this. I'm like, you do realize who you're dating, and you do realize like what he's going through right now, right? This is a hurt man. This was a man that in a concert said, "Come back to me, Kimberly." And like 2-3 weeks later, you're now involved with him. Like, do you honestly really think that he cares about this relationship right now?
This is a man who is running around with Justin LeBoy, flight to flight, city to city on a tour like he's 25. He is 44 in pain. He just was on stage, like you said, screaming to his wife, "Run right back to me." The next day, she pulled some papers I've never seen before, say, "I'm single." He doesn't have to sign anything. "I'm single." Like, she pulled papers we didn't even know about. That's a different level of rich, when you could just be like, "Yeah, I'm single, guys." Like, whatever he's talking about is cap. He won't sign the papers. Oh well, I signed them for him. And you think he wants to be with you, Miss Fox? He bought a house across the street from his wife. You want to be in between this? Pete is having a couple more weeks of fun, and Pete's probably going to hit the deuce button and be like, "Yeah, I'm out of here before it gets to OJ level," because across the street is a little bit too crazy for me, Mr. West. Like, I don't know what you have up here.
Like, it is, bro.
Like, you walk around with gloves and butcher boots, like you're walking around like you're planning murder, my G. Like, and then we see him on the balcony of a Miami hotel after he just had a nice, whatever he had, a Bible study, we don't know, with 2 women and his girl. And we're just like, what is going on? He's in the ocean with Shine and freaking Jay Prince Jr. Like, what are we doing, Kanye? Go to the studio or go with your kids, because you look like a hurt man right now, bro. And it's just like, like, you're Kanye and you're letting Pete Davidson do this to you. And it's shameful. But the funniest part of this all, and I know we always bring it back to Drake, but Drake, you are a sicko. Like the fact that Justice just brought up the run back to me clip, it made me think of the clip of you crying to that, bro. Why are you crying about this, bro? You have allegations of sleeping with his wife, and you're gonna be there crying. Like, that's one of the sickest videos I've ever seen in my life. He's like, I know why he's up there crying right now. Like, I know why he's singing with that emotion. Like, I feel him. That's the real sauce behind that video. Drake is like, I know why he's crying, man. Pete's having a blast, right? He's like, but hey, Donda 2 is apparently in the works. So if Kanye is putting this into the studio, we're gonna get another classic, bro. Because Jail is a classic because he's talking to his wife on the whole first verse. So Kanye, just put the pain in the music and just leave these Instagram thoughts alone. You in Houston at strip club, like, bro, Kanye, you're out of place, my G. Like, you're out of place.
Like, I think we officially hit the point where he's going through his midlife crisis. I think we officially reached that point now because he's 44 years old right now. He just released the entire album about his mom. He's dealing with the whole divorce from him and Kim Kardashian. He gets with this new Instagram model that he's been dating for a week. That's going to be his muse for the next couple of weeks. You know, he's in strip clubs. Like, when's the last time you saw Kanye West inside a strip club, bro? Like come on. This man, this is a hurt man. This is a man that's really going through it on the inside. And these are just kind of the telltale signs of a hurt man that's really just going through it. Because we have never, ever in his career seen him act like this the way that he's been acting right now.
Man was in the club with Future. Future is giving him advice. When he's seeking advice from Future, we know there's a problem around, man.
That's red flag number one. That's a red flag number one. I completely forgot about that, but yes, he was.
Oh man, somebody save Ye. Hove, call this man and just give him a big brother talk. That's all he need, man. Put him on with one of Beyonce friends so he don't have to do this, man. Because right now he's just down bad, and I don't like to see the brother Kanye looking like this, man. Like it's nasty.
Maybe this is his vacation. I don't know, bro. Like, I'm just trying to think of it right now, but I keep just going back to this is a hurt man with his moves, bro.
Oh man, that family has storylines for days, man. Shouts out to Kris Jenner. She never stops working at all.
Not at all. All right, what else we gotta get into? Oh yeah, we gotta get into this. Real quick before we get into that. Reports come out that Lamar Odom wants to get back with Khloe Kardashian, wants to rekindle some type of relationship amid the whole Tristian Thompson fiasco too. I'm just putting that out there too.
Lamar, you were on crack in a whorehouse because of this family. Go be where you're at, bro, and just chill. Like, why are you trying to jump back into this, bro? Like, it must be fire over there for this to have these men running around like this. Like, you died, bro. Like, you died, my G. And she came, she helped you out. I know you have that love for her forever, but she's on to the next bozo, and you're not in her peripheral anymore. Yes, that's your wife. Y'all always be together, but he had a kid with her. That's his baby mom. And like I said, being her baby father weighs more than being her husband. If you don't want to believe it, this is a clear-cut case, everybody. So if you want to have her for life, impregnate her and don't give her the ring. Because we see Lamar is like, hey, the ring. She's like, I don't give a fuck about that.
Ring, child.
One way is more. So, LO, she's not coming back to you ever.
Nah, but he's sick for like, because Lamar been quiet for a minute. He's been quiet for a minute. And
he's also sick because out of nowhere he tells us that he was dating Taraji P. Henson. Like, we never knew this, bro. Like, we never knew that you were with her. And he's like, man, I fucked that up because I wanted to be with Chloe. Like, he's one of those dudes that just couldn't wait to tell people that he was with a baddie. And he held that in for 13 years. Like, nobody, we never knew this, bro. Like, do you want Chloe, or are you just trying to tell us how lit you were before? We know you used to play with Kobe. You want a ring, bro. You were a Lakers. like,
bro, you was making millions of dollars for the Los Angeles Lakers winning championships with Kobe Bryant, bro. Like, yeah, we get you was lit, bro. You was lit, okay? You was around celebrities that people can only dream of interacting with. You know, you hit a few things in your prime. When
you were probably hitting everything that Kobe couldn't hit, bro. So, like, why 13 years after the fact are you telling us who you had in your closet, bro? Just keep that to yourself and hold that in, bro.
Like bro, like that shit is corny, bro. Because at the end of the day, like, no one even asking for that, bro. No one's just like, bro, no one's shit. Like, bro, Lamar Odom, like, with all due respect, bro, like, you're not that type of star, bro. You're not that type of celebrity where people are really checking to see who you dated, who you were dating in your past, bro.
Exactly, like, bro, like, fam, you had her. Cool. We know you pull girls. You marry Khloe Kardashian. Cool. That. Just leave that as your claim to fame, because that's all you seem to care about now. Not that you're a 2-time champion with the Lakers. Like,
not that like you had one of the most unique skill sets for a guy at 6'10", 6'11", bro. Not that like you had one of the most legendary street ball moments in high school, bro. Like, okay, let the Kardashians be your everlasting legacy. Okay.
it's like you making Tristian look like the bigger person right now, and that's kind of sick.
And that's fucking sad. That is sad, bro. Tristian Thompson. Okay. Oh man. Anyway, like, we gotta get into this just a little bit. Fresh and Fit versus Black women. Yeah. This was just like, wow, really? Okay. So for those that don't know, Fresh and Fit, they have a podcast. They on one of the episodes they had Asian Doll on, and one of the hosts, he kind of got into it because apparently one of the rules on the show is no sidebar conversations. Apparently she was having a sidebar conversation. He kind of checked her for that. They got into a little, not a heated exchange, but I say a warm exchange between two. Asian Doll eventually walked off, and basically that was that. He ended the episode right there. So then, following that incident, receipts were pulled up of a conversation that two co-hosts had in a previous podcast episode, essentially disrespecting Black women, and these are two Black individuals saying that. Got the exact quote, but basically saying we don't want to date Black girls. Like, we're cool with that. We don't want to date a LaQuisha, Shaniqua, none of that. We're not Knight Rider, so to say. They were getting a lot of that, and this is really kind of disturbing, just because obviously you're disrespecting women of your own culture, number one, and you're disrespecting Black women, a group in the world that has been the most disrespected community in history at that as well. And this kind of notion, those type of, even if they were, you can claim that they're joking and that, it only adds to that discord. So it really is sad, and it really is kind of disgusting seeing that.
Yeah, man. And I don't even want to spend too much time on these, because these guys, they used to get nuggies in the hallway in school. Like, when people see these type of dudes, you could just tell they're the dudes that you couldn't even talk to Black women if you wanted to. It's not, oh, we don't want Black women. Black women don't want you, my G. Like, you're pushing something away that you weren't going to get. Like, it's like, let me beat you to the punch. Nigga, you were not going to have the chance of this either way. And then they would use terms like, oh, we're not a beta male. We don't deal with those type of dudes. Dude, like, if you have to use words like I'm an alpha or you're a beta, you're not, bro. There's something wrong with you. You're trying to cling on to terms to make you feel strong about yourselves when you haven't left your house. You learned everything you talk about through the internet. You have a community of little, probably 13-year-old boys that can't get girls, so they scream, oh, fuck women, this, and that's your clout. And you used it up, and now you see, oh, nobody's here on your back, because that's not cool. Real dudes don't move that way. Real dudes know that Black women are probably the most precious creatures on the world. They probably contribute to 90% of the culture. And a lot of stuff in culture doesn't move without Black women. That's why a lot of artists gravitate towards Black women. That's why a lot of TV shows gravitate towards Black women. They are the moving force. And you know that because most podcasts don't get off the ground without the support or either hate of Black women. So you were trying to grab onto something here and it failed. And y'all gonna dwindle out eventually, sooner probably than later. Y'all were gonna dwindle out even more. And it's just funny that you said the whole thing started with side conversations when you were on a podcast with 9-10 mics. Like the whole podcast is a side conversation, my G. Like, so just say, oh, you wanted to feel bad and stand on something, you wanted to disrespect a Black woman, and it didn't work because she's richer than y'all, whatever you had to say, yada yada yada. And then y'all were like, oh, somebody was like, oh, that's King Von's girl. And he's like, oh, you get it? That was King Von's girl. If King Von was alive, you would not even act like that. You wouldn't even speak like that in the room with her. And you would know that. You would know that was his girl before she came in, and you would shut your mouth. So act the same way you would if he wasn't here, and just keep it as that. Because she's probably more hard. She is more harder than everybody in that room, bro. And the fresh dude, you're blacker than Black. So you just sound crazy. You're going to have a daughter. She's going to be Black. So everything you were saying in that clip is going to apply to her. So just replay that for her when she grows up. Fuck.
So like, it's just goofy behavior, bro. Like at the end of the day, like I can never understand that. I can never understand how like you can disrespect people within your own community. They're like it just don't like it just. Anyway, let's get to new music. Two big releases. We got Weekend and we got Gunna. So let's start with the Weekend project, Dawn FM. How'd you feel about it, bro?
And I love it, man. I gotta skip the first 4 tracks, but as soon as Quincy Williams comes on, I was like, okay, I know what the Weeknd is doing right now. He got Quincy Williams. This is who made Thriller, so we know what type of bop he's about to get into. And then from At a Time on I've been bumping it all day. So Weeknd's back. I felt him a lot in that Take Care bag. I felt him a lot just in that old R&B fusion 80 bag. And I was outside shoveling the snow like I was in a 80s rock movie, a rock song, rock video. And I love it. So my favorite tracks off rip is Out of Time, Here We Go with Tyler the Creator, Best Friends, and I Thought You Were Married featuring Lil Wayne. Yeah, but off rip, I'm fucking with it. How about you?
Yeah, definitely did like it. I will agree with you. It kind of does have like a slow start to it, the first couple of songs, but then, like I said, like right around the Quincy interlude onward, that's when the album I think really does shine. I really like the whole premise about it, this being kind of a full hour of commercial-free radio. I really like that premise, and especially for so many of us, like our first introduction is music. Of music is listening to it on the radio for the first time when we're like kids and stuff like that. So I think that was a really dope thing to have in this album. I really like the spoken word. That was the very last song, the very last track of this as well. And real quick, just get back on that listening to music for the first time on the radio point. This is kind of the first album. This is like a weird kind of album release for the Weeknd, because this was kind of a surprise project. We didn't know about it until maybe about a week ago when he just released the cover art for it. And then I think it was either right before or 2 days before, he went on a whole, he went on Twitter and like really pushed the promotion for this album, all caps. And that's something that we've really never even seen the Weeknd do like that. Of course, we always seen him as, the strong silent type of guy, a guy that just does the music, releases it, he'll do the bare minimum for the promotion, and that's about it. And this, I feel like, might be, a new chapter in the Weeknd's life and where he's at in his career now. And I can't wait to see like what that version is gonna look like. Like I said, he really is sticking to like that 80s fusion R&B, alternative R&B with this album. It sounds really good. It reminded me of the Silk Sonic album, where this felt like a real time capsule piece of what was going on through it. I really like it from that standpoint, and I can't wait to see like what the music videos and really kind of what the story is going to really look like and turn into, because the Weeknd lately, some music videos, cover art, and things like that that whole tied in together as one big story. So I can't wait to see like what story he's really gonna try to tell with this.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, I like how he rolled it out. Just put the music. I think he even said that in like the little press clipping he released like a week ago. He was like, I don't really want to. We've been through enough. Let's just let the music heal. We don't need no old fashioned rollout. And I hope a lot of artists use that but it's not a lot of artists on the weekend level that can just put something out and don't have to promote it much. But I'm glad he's at the point in his career where he could do that. But it's a lot of artists up there that can do that. And I hope this kind of starts the trend for that this year. Just enough of the gimmicky promotion stuff and just drop the album.
Yeah, literally, I feel like artists, all they really have to do is the band. If you're a certain artist, if you're a certain tier, that is, where you can really just announce the albums, but hey, listen, I have a new album. It's coming out next week. This Friday, I'm releasing the first single to that. So go stream, go listen. I'll see you on the next one. Like that's it. Yeah. Because those surprise albums, those surprise drops, those always seem to be the best just because you're not anticipating. Yeah, it makes the first couple listen through, you enjoy the first of those first listen throughs more, just because it is such a surprise. And it really feels like a whole gift.
Yeah.
Quick rundown of the weekend album. Then we're gonna get to the Gunna album, Drip Season Forever. Gunna, he did it again, bro. Like he followed up one of just with another banger of an album. Man. I mean, I was really impressed with his last album, what he was able to do with that. And I'm still impressed even now with this one too. I mean, just like I said, just bang out the banger. I feel like he really is kind of cementing himself as a versatile artist and like a guy that really has a vibe for almost anything in almost any situation. That's why I can't wait after listening through this thing. But what about you?
Oh man, Gunna, young Gunna won it, man. He's a guy for sure. I came into the album. I knew what Gunna gives us. He's Gunna, man. He's the ultimate vibe in hip hop, man. I feel like nobody probably rides the beat better than him. And he did that once again on this album. I came in wanting to hate. I wanted to hate because I'll admit it. I was angry when I found out that Gunna was in a situationship. We call it a situationship because she's responding to me. So I don't know if it's how strong y'all bond is because she's in my phone right now as we speak. But I found out he was in a little twingle tangle with Chloe Bailey, and I had hate coming in, and I was like, oh, he made a love song with her, and oh, y'all refurbished John B. They don't have to know about us. But overall, the album is great. Some of my favorite tracks on here. I love A Lot of Cake. I just feel like he just was rapping ridiculous on that track. I like Living Wild. That's probably the one I'm gonna play the most. And as much as it pains me, I love the You and Me record. But Chloe, that's gonna be our song now. So whatever y'all going through right now, y'all do what y'all doing. Just know, as long as you show me you laughing at me, I know I'm in there. So we're gonna be together one day, baby. But the You and Me record and then 25K Jacket with Lil Baby. That's the standout track for me. But yeah, Gunna did it again, bro. What's your favorite tracks off the album?
Hopefully, I really like South to West. I feel like that might be the hardest song on this.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the one. That's right after the You and Me record. Yeah, that's the one too. Yeah.
Yeah. South to West. Whole lot of kick, like you said, Living Wild. I really like that one, especially just because it kind of shows we take a peek into Gunna really what he's going through at a certain time and just him being vulnerable in that track. I think that was really dope to see. I really like the G Herbo track. I really did. I was curious to see what a Gunna and G Herbo track would sound like, and it sounds really good. Like it really did. I was impressed with that. The Young Brother Blue, he made an appearance on this with Chris Brown, Die Alone, which is a really great song too, sonically. And yeah, those are probably my really standout favorites.
Oh yeah, and I gotta throw a little more hate because you Drake fished us. You on the album track list, you put the Drake song, and that was probably the song I was looking for the most. And he wasn't on there, but I'll let you slide. You're probably gonna slide out of a deluxe, but overall the music is good enough, so I'm not mad that we didn't get the Drake feature. And Chloe responded to me, so I'm not as mad to the album anymore. But overall, he did it again, bro. But I'm gonna have to take your chick, my boy.
Yeah, bro. Shout out to God, a really good album. As far as music, that's really it. To release. Anything more we really got to talk about? Anything more we really got to cover?
I think we pretty ran through everything this week. I think Chris Brown might be dropped in a few, but that's pretty much it. I don't think it's too much more news that we got right now.
All right. With that being said, we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Like, share, subscribe, do all that, and we're gonna catch you on the next one.
Chloe.